since the first, and I was lucky enough to have Parker Biele and Sammy Trudeau come out. Two extremely, extremely talented skiers and personalities and everything. Sammy is quite the talented slalom skier as well as GS, but she's a 30-some point slalom skier, and Parker was a 30-some point GS skier. And they are amazing people. And Parker's got a really, really fun story from where she started to where she went. And it was all just from her determination, grit, and a ridiculous amount of hard work. So I thought it'd be fun for her to share and for you guys to ask her and Sammy any questions.
Totally. Thanks, John, for the sweet intro. But hi, guys. I've spent a lot of time at ski camps where just everybody's in one room together, eating dinner, chatting, kind of talking about the day, talking about life, just getting to know each other. And I think first and foremost, that's the most important part of your camp, right? You're waking up every day, you're working hard, but you're all working hard together, and you're all trying to improve and really kind of enjoy this experience as you're here in Mount Hood for the next 9 days, right? So for me, I went to Burke when I was young. I started in 8th grade, but I didn't start ski racing until I was 11 or 12. I was an athletic kid, always really was competitive, and thought tennis was my avenue when I first started, and then found ski racing, and holy smokes, did my life change. For me, it was something that this sport was unlike anything else you've ever done, right? You're throwing yourself down the mountain, you're going as fast as you possibly can, and there's tiny room for error. And it's a really cool sport in that sense that you learn a lot along the way. So I went to Burke after one summer at a Mount Hood camp at Eric Saylor, so a similar kind of setup as this. You kind of throw together people from all over, and you don't really know anybody, and it's all different levels, and it's kind of intimidating, and I was about this tall. I was so pumped to be there, but didn't even know how to crosswalk, so it was a little out of my league, but in my head I was like, this is the place I need to be. I came home from that camp and told my parents that I was going to Burke. I was like, all the ski racers are going to Burke, I have to go to Burke. And they're like, what the heck is wrong with you? You're 12 years old, why are you going to boarding school? I was like, no, I'm going to Burke, this is what I'm going to do. So fast forward a couple of years, I show up at Burke at 89 pounds and 4'10". So also very small. And I was about that height for my entire time at Burke, to be honest. I did not grow until I was probably 18 years old. But I think what really was cool about my time at Burke was I was not very good. I was always left behind for camps. I didn't qualify for anything. My friends were all getting in the van to drive off to these projects, and I was left back at Burke by myself. And I would just sit there and go, why the heck not me? Like, I'm working just as hard, like what's going on? And so instead in my head I was like, all right, I'm just gonna work harder. So each year I had my goals of qualifying for either U14 champs or states or Easterns, whatever. Year after year I missed it. Did not qualify, did not make it, and was left home again. So every year I'd come back, instead of getting upset and bummed, and of course you always shed a couple tears in ski racing, I'd go for a run. I would come home and say, all right, training has started. Next season has begun, and I'm going to make it next year. And it kind of happened for like 4 years in a row where I just did not make it. And all of a sudden, stuff started to click. And I had a really cool coach that always told me, like, don't worry, your time will come. Like, do the work now, get in the volume, make the turns, and really focus on your technique, and all of a sudden it's going to make sense. You'll be able to grow muscle mass, you'll get strong, and boom, it all makes sense. So my junior year of high school at Burke, stuff started to get a little better. I finally started qualifying for things. We had moved into FIS. And by that time, too, everyone was so used to in my group running top 10. They were great U14s, great U16s. They were like starting in the front, always. I started in the back. So my first FIS race at Copper, when we all started 115, I knew what to do. I was like, oh, it's just a normal day, let's go. And so all of a sudden the FIS system really kind of helped me out because I got to chip away up the ladder, up the ranking. So got through my first year of FIS, everything was kind of going well, and all of a sudden senior year came around and the big looming question of college was what everybody wanted to know. And in my head, I wanted to ski in college. That was my goal all along. I was like, you know what, fine, I wasn't the best U14, I wasn't the best U16, but I am going to race in college. all of the Berg staff was like, you need to make a list of places you can go without skiing because you're not skiing in college. I was like, no, I'm gonna ski in college, just wait, I'm gonna figure it out. Senior year came, I had a really cool coach that taught me the key of ski racing really is moving, working the ski, really trying to build. If you don't come to the bottom of a course and feel out of gas completely, you did not work hard enough. And so then all of a sudden the speed started to come. I started to get strong, everything in the gym was paying off, and it was getting fast. So old points wise, I applied to Boston College, which was my first choice, with 60 old GS points, so what's that now, 73?
Yeah.
And over 100 solid points. And the coach didn't want me at first. I was like 4 back on the list. And I needed pole to get in because I was trying to go to the business school because of course like the academic part is really important to me as well. And I was like, no, like I promise your bet will pay off. So I had a bunch of coaches call, I wrote emails, I did everything I possibly could. I kept writing saying, hey, BC is my top choice, this is where I want to be. Finally, halfway through my senior year, January, I get a phone call and the coach calls me and says, hey, Parker, like, you still want to go to BC? I was like, yeah, I do. And that was the start. And I told him, I said, I promise you, I will not let you down. So my first year of college, I went in and made flip of the first EISA carnival. And from there, it was uphill. Like, it was, all of a sudden, it made sense. GS was clicking, I was skiing fast, and I was able to really do what I set out to do and be a better college skier than U14. And so then it really started to become new goals. BC was kind of a newer team in the NCAA circuit. You got your classics, of course, like the UVM, Dartmouth, Middlebury. BC was only like 11 years old in the system, which meant there were records to be broken, and I wanted to be the one to break those records. So I ended up being the first girl to qualify for NCAAs at Boston College. I was the first girl to win a carnival, and ended up being top 10 in NORAM by the end of my career. And so what's really fun about telling this story is because all of you guys are in this really sweet spot right now where you can improve and you can make huge gains. And even though sometimes the system tries to tell you you're not good enough, they don't know what they're talking about. It's these moves now that you're making in your career, the time that you're listening to the coaches, the extra laps you're taking on the hill, the extra time in the gym, that's really going to pay off, and you can reach whatever your goals are, however high they may be. So I took another year last year to ski just like independently post-college, which is pretty unusual for girls, and hopefully it's something that's changing. Was able to do the NORAM circuit and go through that. Was supposed to go over to Europe, but unfortunately was issued with COVID, so that got in the way. And then retired with a back issue and moved on to the next part of my life. And what's really fun now is I'm still in the ski world. I'm running the Sync Custom program and our athlete program. So I get to work with guys like you every day and kind of support you guys on your dreams that I know can become a reality. I remember people telling me this stuff, and people that were standing in front of me when I was young and staying at Huckleberry Inn, which, by the way, this place is way nicer than Huckleberry Inn. And something always stuck, and it's like, if you love it, if you love what you're doing, you love every second of it, even when there are hard days, because yeah, there are a lot of them, then this sport is worth it from start to finish, no matter how far you end up taking it. And I think that that's really the important part, is you end up part of a community that is so strong and so cool that you can know people for the rest of your life that can talk to you about ski racing and enjoy the little moments. So yeah, it might rain once or twice this trip, but who doesn't love wet gloves and talking about being soaking wet and taking another run? Like that's what makes the grit. That's what builds your character so you can go on into your next part of your life and be ready to take on whatever throws your way. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. I know that you're gonna have a sweet week. Like everybody here, I think try and introduce yourself, meet somebody else. I know you're all from like different high schools and whatnot, so you compete together, but get to know somebody else, and you never know how you can be a part of their journey as they're kind of achieving their goals, and I think that that's something super special. So I'm gonna be on the hill tomorrow. I'll talk to you about GS all day, every day, so that's kind of my thing, and I'm super easy to talk to you. I will answer any question you have, but I think now I can hand it over to my buddy Sammy.
My story is definitely, oh yeah, you get some claps.